Today we are going to do real versus rep in the Jordan 11 Gratitude. Rep box, real box. Generally the rep boxes will end up a little more scuffed than some of the real boxes. A little bit of damage here and there. If you look at the size, it is close. The box size is close. The real is a size 12, the rep is a size 11. Looking at the Jordan logos, they look almost identical. I would say Jordan's legs are maybe a little wider spread on this one. Here is the side of the box with the 23s. The shape looks similar, the spacing looks similar, so they did a pretty good job with that. I should mention rep box, real box, real box, rep box. You can see the real box has damage on the corners and the rep box does not, but the rep box has a 31 written on there. As far as the text and everything else, it looks like they copied that over here really good from what I can tell. So there's a zoomed in look at those as well. One thing you will notice, I will bring the rep box a little closer for you. You can see the lines of the cardboard, like you can see the structure of the cardboard in there a little bit more on the boxes. I'll show it to you more on the darker side. Right here, you can see a difference in the boxes. This is the retail box on top. This is the rep box on the bottom. And these lines are what I was saying you could see more in the rep box, but from this angle, it looks like you can see it just as much in the retail box. So you can see it a little bit more in the rep box. Retail box is more of a eggshell, less shiny. The rep box is a little shiny, so the black colors are not exactly the same in the light. Retail tag, replica tag. So looking at these, the replica tag, it's a little scuffed, but it looks like it would have the same amount of sheen if it wasn't. I probably could have polished it with something. The spacing between the Jordan.com and the CT8010 170 looks the same between these two, as well as the number. I will say that the Jordan.com font looks a little bit different, but it's almost identical, so I don't know if that'll be enough to tell. I did notice that Jordan here is a little higher than Jordan here above the QR code, so there's a little bit more space between Jordan here and the QR code. But other than that, this is probably one of the closest labels I have seen. Even looking in these circles here, they look to be pretty close to the same size to me and are lined up properly. Inside the boxes, they both say thank you. That looks pretty similar to me. Retail replica pair. The replica pair, the box is starting to split a little bit there, but maybe that could happen on anything. Again, this is the rep pairs information with a discount code for you. Here is the paper. This is wax paper, almost feels like paper, parchment paper you would cook with. The retail pair is maybe slightly thicker, but they're pretty close. In person, the retail pair, which is right here, is a little bit more white, whereas the rep pair, which is over here, seems to have a little bit of a tint to it. It doesn't look as clear. So that's one way you can tell. But other than that, the writing on them looks about identical. Numbers and the sticker on the retail pair versus the numbers and the sticker on the replica pair. Numbers are exactly the same between the two pairs. The sticker placement is different. When I first looked at the replica pair, I thought they sent me a retail pair just to trick me. Retail is a size 12, rep is 11.5. Quickly, you'll notice that the strings are a little bit different between the two. On the replica pair, they are tied how Jordan 11 strings are usually tied. On the retail pair, they just came tucked over the tongue. Small difference that would be easy for someone to fix who is trying to pass you off a pair of reps as retail. So let's get these a little closer to the camera so you can take a look at them. Rep on top, retail on the bottom. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can get a better picture of these. Retail on the bottom, rep on top. Rep, retail. Now we have retail on the top, rep on the bottom. Retail to the right, rep to the left. Get these a little closer for you. Here are the Jordan symbols. The replica is in the front, so replica and retail. So there is the replica Jordan. There is the retail Jordan. Maybe the replica looks bigger because it's in front, so let me pull this one closer for you. Difference wise, I don't know that there's enough there to tell any difference. Here are the backs of the shoes. Rep, retail. On the rep, that one's slightly more pointy, but not a whole lot. This is slightly more rounded. Usually that's a telltale spot on these. It's not. On here in the camera, it looks like the 23 is a little wider on here, but it could be that just the angle of the camera, because in real life I don't see much difference. The materials look the same, the spacing, the black, and the thickness feels the same, so you can't tell anything there. Even the placement of the, let's see, Jordan's foot ends there, Jordan ends there. So maybe the Jordan comes in a little bit more on the rep pair, but it's not really a distinguishable difference that's easy to know. On the rep, which is here, retail here. Usually this is a point where you can tell between the two, and looking at the two of them, it does look like the rep is a little less clear to see through that part, but other than that, it is shaped pretty good on that part of the shoe, so that could maybe be a tail for you. And then there's like this little ripple here on the shoe, but I've had that on retail pairs, so I don't know if that's a tail either. Laces on these feel the same. The Jordan tags on the tongue look the same to me. They feel about the same. Jordan looks about the same. The stitching looks about the same. The replica tongue is tumbled more, but let's see. It is a softer leather on the replica, actually, on the tongue. This is the retail pair, and what we're going to look at is this stitch right here that's just outside of where the lace is held. On the replica pair, this one is a little bit crooked, but that's probably something you can find on a retail pair as well. So the replica looks like it's quality materials. These would be very, very hard to tell. Even the thickness of the patent leather looks the same. So this is the retail pair, and this is the replica pair. The patent leather thickness looks the same. Even these little points on here are very similar. You can't really see it on that pair from this angle, but all of those are very similar. Looking inside the shoe. Inside the shoe, let's pull the insoles out. I put the stuffing out of the shoes. Retail paper is this one, and the replica paper is that one, which is a little longer, but paper-wise, they feel almost identical, so no tail there. Here is the tag in the replica pair. Look-wise, here is the tag in the replica pair. Look-wise, it looks similar. It is stitched a little further out than the retail pair was, but other than that, it looks and feels the same. There are the two of them. Retail to the right, rep to the left. Here are the insoles. Looking at these, the size 12 is their retail insole. The size 11.5 is the replica insole. Once out of the shoe, you can see this one it flattens out a lot easier. It's softer. This one bounces back. So just looking at them, you could tell the difference between retail and replica. Touch-wise, they feel the same. 23s feel the same. And this time they have the tag and the right spacing. And I'd imagine the distance between the 23 could vary on those. But when you flip them over, there is a difference. The retail pair has a B on it. It says AJ11 OF-8H M12, if you can see that. This one says, oh, it wasn't OF, it was QF, my bad. The fonts are different between the two, which it should show pretty easily. The rep has a trademark on it, so this is rep. This is retail, so the rep is the 115B. And the trademark tags are on the retail pair here and here twice, which is kind of difficult to see. And then underneath here, there's some more writing on the retail pair, but that B stamp is on there. Other than that, they feel about like they offer the same amount of cushioning and support. All right, let's take a quick look inside. This one is the replica. Inside is black with white stitching. This one is the retail. Inside is black with white stitching. It's a little less neat where it comes together there. Lastly, let's do the black light test. Retail pair is on the left of the screen. Replica pair is on the right of the screen. So from this angle, both laces on both pair glow white. The white leather glows a purple reddish color. There is one difference though. So I'm going to pick up the replica pair. Hopefully you can see that. So this part between the patent leather and the sole, it glows the same color as the leather, which is kind of like that reddish pink or that purple color. But on the retail pair, that part glows white. So that would be a giveaway in a black light test, and you can see the glue spots on there. So maybe whatever they paint the leather with, they've used there. Let's check out the soles. So this is the sole on the retail pair. Looks like I've probably picked up some dirt from sitting it over here on the table. My kids must have had some food. Let's put two pairs up together. So remember, our retail is to the left, rep is to the right. That part looks like it transfers over okay consistently. Shining the light down in the inside of these. The stitching and the insides and everything light up the same, so there's no tail there. So the only tail you would have would be to look at the two different color soles. And this is, everything's shifting because I can't see nothing. But if you can see the difference between the midsole on those two. Shape of the toe box is different. Rep pair, retail pair. All right, I thought we were done, but if you notice between the two, the pattern's different on the midsole on both of those. So that is something else you can look for, as well as how the patent leather comes together back here. So the rep is left, the retail is right. Let me double check size-wise for you to make sure I'm right. Yep, rep is left, retail is right. So that's one more thing for you to look for when you're using this to legit check your pair. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.